Welcome back to the Maven Matriarch. I'm Bianca Burke, and this space is all about womanhood, motherhood, identity, leadership, and the messy, beautiful journey of becoming. Today, I want to talk about something that every single one of us faces at different points in our life. It's stepping into a new identity. This might look like becoming a mother, or it could be starting a business, stepping into leadership, moving into a new relationship, or simply deciding that the woman you've been isn't fully the woman you're meant to be. Every season of life asks us to evolve. But here's the tricky part: our minds, our habits, even our relationships don't always catch up as fast as our spirit does. And that can feel uncomfortable. You might feel like you're stuck between who you were and who you are becoming. I've had many identity shifts in my life. I'm sure you have too. But the transition for me into motherhood has been the biggest. It's truly required me to step into the version of myself who levels up on a daily basis. It's actually why I started this podcast. The moment I decided to step into the woman who is fulfilling her dreams of becoming an entrepreneur, it required that I completely became a new version of myself. I want to talk about why identity shifts matter. Our identity is like a container. It holds who we think we are, how we behave, and what we believe is possible. But when life expands, that old container doesn't fit anymore. Think about it. A woman who becomes a mother cannot live inside the same identity she had before. A woman who starts her own company can't operate with the mindset of an employee. A woman who is called to lead cannot show up the same way she did when she was hiding in the background. If you try to carry old stories into the new seasons of your life, you will feel stuck. You will say, why do I feel pulled in two directions? Why can't I seem to move forward? And that's because you're trying to build this new life, but with this old identity. And trust me, I say that, but it doesn't happen. This is where you find yourself stuck and in that loop. Here's the truth: if you don't consciously choose your new identity, life will end up choosing it for you. Circumstances will mold you instead of you shaping yourself. Life will force you to change. For most of my life, I've been operating from an identity that was not my own. It was from an identity of what I thought others expected of me. And this went from my parents to my friends, my siblings, my teachers, professors, and just everyone. I was a people pleaser, and it took me a very long time to admit that. And I have to tell you that this is dangerous. It's not organic, and it's not serving you. Every moment of your life, of your day, is a choice. What identity are you choosing from? Now, this is something that I had to learn with time and experience. And I'm still learning to make the choices that my future self wants and know I need to make. There was a moment where it just finally clicked for me. I'm navigating motherhood and I'm building my businesses. I'm working with coaches and mentors to strengthen my entrepreneurial journey. And that's all wonderful. But the true work that I'm doing is the work that I'm putting into myself internally and spiritually. If you don't operate from the identity of the woman who has all that you desire, then you can't have all that you desire. As I said, I'm doing a lot of work internally, and I probably will never be done. But I know that I am already her. I am already whole, and I am already healed. We're going to talk about the process of actually stepping into her. So, the first step is acknowledging the old self. That's the first step. And it's not rejection, it's actually, I consider it to be from a place of gratitude. You don't have to hate your old self to outgrow her. Think of her as the bridge. She got you through college, through that heartbreak, all the breakups, through the survival seasons. She carried you here. But the woman who got you here is not the same woman who will get you there. My sister said something to me the other day. Maybe, it was in a joking way, and I understand that. But it made me think. She said, Bianca, you're not fun anymore. I laughed and said, I'm still fun. And while that would have hurt me in the past, it doesn't, because I know that I'm so grateful for the Bianca who enjoyed a good party and who knew how to dance and turn up. As I think back, I smile at that wild, carefree, adventurous, daring version of me. And I cherish those memories. And while I'll disagree that I'm not as fun as I used to be, I like to think that I am fun, right? But my version of fun is expressed in a way that honors my husband and my daughter. It's expressed in a way that is mindful of my reputation as an entrepreneur and expressed in a way that honors me, my now me. That Bianca was fun, but that Bianca was also fearful of failure, of success, of being seen and heard. She was a people pleaser, a procrastinator, a perfectionist. She no longer fits in the life that I'm building. Second step is envisioning your future self. Who are you becoming? And I don't mean in a fluffy Pinterest version of a vision board kind of way. I mean, how does she think? How does she make decisions? What does she say no to? This is your future identity. Now, she already exists because you have those dreams and you have those aspirations, and those don't come out of nowhere. It's because deep down you are the person who has those things. So, who is that person? That's an easy answer. It's you. You just haven't fully embodied her yet. Identity is a frequency, okay? When you tune into it, you start living as her even before the world notices. And I'm going to say this. When you have a moment, I want you to check out an amazing woman. Her name is Dr. Kamisha McDowell. She's a doctor of metaphysics. I came across her on TikTok and I thought she was amazing. She is able to break down and decode your name. And I thought, wow, I'm curious. I'm skeptical, but I'm curious. So I reached out. I purchased a session with her. I believe it was two sessions. I purchased a one-on-one reading with her, where she broke down, the first letter of my name. I was curious. I wanted to see what it was about. I also purchased a 3-day session called the Divine Identity Portal. It's a 3-day event where you go and it's like a master class, and she breaks down her method of stepping into identity. And that's what prompted me to even make this episode, because I thought she was so on point. And I'm already doing a lot of the things that she talked of, but the way that she explains it's amazing, and it's all tied to your name. I don't want to go into too much detail, right? Because it's way too in depth for the time that we have here today. But all I will say is that it's definitely worth it, especially if you're trying to shift into that identity of who you need to be to achieve the things that you want in this lifetime. I know I will be continuing to work with her because so far it's really hit home with me. I resonate with the way that she explains these things, and I'm intrigued. So I just wanted to share that with you, a little bit about my journey and some of the resources that are helping me to shift. Now, the third is to practice embodiment daily. This is the unglamorous part, okay? This is the hard part. The daily choices, the small rituals. This right here is the work. So when you wake up in the morning, do you drag your old stories with you? Or do you get dressed as the woman you're becoming? When stress hits you, do you respond as your old self? Or do you pause and ask, how would she handle this? When you speak about yourself, are you reinforcing the old narrative or declaring the new? Every decision is a vote for the woman you're becoming, and it should be. When I first introduced myself as an entrepreneur, founder, real estate investor, speaker, it was weird, but I immediately felt the shift in my body, and I began to embody those titles. That was the moment I knew how important and how deep this shift really is. The fourth step is give yourself permission to outgrow. This one might sting a little bit because some people, habits, and even environments, it won't align with the new identity that you're shifting into. And a lot of people think of it as betrayal, but it's really evolution. Think of it like a snake, right? And a snake sheds its skin. The old layer is way too tight. That's the whole reason why it's shedding. It's restricting. If you keep wearing it, you suffocate. It doesn't mean you don't love the people in your past, but not everyone can walk with you into your future, and that's life. There's a resistance that shows up when we're going through these shifts. Here's what nobody tells you: the fact that that resistance is normal. The fear will show up like, what if I'm not ready for this? The guilt will creep in. Am I abandoning the old me? Right? Or even, am I abandoning the people who knew that version of me? The imposter syndrome, it actually seeps in and whispers, who am I to step into this? But here's the reframe, okay? Resistance is not that red light, it's actually the green light. It means you're at that stage, that edge of transformation. Because if you weren't growing, you wouldn't feel that stretch. I feel this stretch every day. Every single time I choose to do something that aligns with the new version of me, I realize it's normal. I do it anyway. I've trained myself to acknowledge those feelings, the feelings of fear, the feelings of imposter syndrome, the feelings of guilt. I embrace them, but I do it anyway because I know that when I feel that feeling, it means I'm doing something right. In my own journey, I found that I would have one foot in and one foot out, or I would bounce back and forth. And it was important to me that I learned how to anchor into my new identity, be consistently anchored in it until it just was a normal thing. And so I want to give you 3 tools to help you anchor into the new identity. First tool, now hear me out. First tool is affirmations. Okay, I know it's the woo woo, the fluff fluff, but it really is brain science because your mind is like a record, okay? The more you repeat, the deeper it sinks in. And it's not enough just to say those words. You have to actually believe them and reinforce them. So I do mine in the mirror each day as I get ready. It's just the easiest thing to do. And it can be anything in your own words, okay? The repetition wires the belief. Second, environmental cues. Look around you. Your space should reflect the woman that you're becoming. And that's why vision boards work. Also, curating your wardrobe, dressing the part, even the words on your wall. Some people write, sticky notes on the walls. Changing the content that you're consuming. That's your environment. Make sure that it reflects the woman that you're becoming. I only consume content that is going to feed my soul and push me forward. It includes the people that you surround yourself with, right? Sometimes we have to make adjustments that way with love and grace and respect, right? But it needs to happen. And third, micro commitments. Stop waiting for the big break to prove that you've changed. Okay? You need to start proving that you're changing or that you've changed with tiny, consistent actions. It's not enough to just say those words, believe it. Now you have to take inspired action because each small step is going to be evidence that you're in your new identity. For me, it started with my daily walks. I wanted to step into the version of me that was healthy and active after pregnancy and giving birth. And I knew how to do that. And I knew doing that would help me to become that girl. I got up each day. put on my workout clothes, and went for a walk because that's what she would do. And then I started to apply that concept to other things, launching my business, working on my public speaking, and then even launching this podcast. It only takes that small step and many small steps consistently, that's important, to align with the identity of the woman who is all that you are and has all that you desire. You just embody her. So, stepping into a new identity, it isn't about becoming someone else. It's about aligning with the truest version of yourself, the woman that you were always meant to be. And if you don't know truly who that is, I urge you, sit quietly with yourself, sit alone and listen to your thoughts. Listen to yourself. Listen to your higher self. Meditate. Find out who that woman is. And then begin to do the steps. I want to leave you with 2 questions today. Ask yourself, what part of me is ready to be released? What part of me is ready to be revealed? I want to thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today on this episode of the Maven Matriarch. If the conversation spoke to you, please share it with another woman who is stepping into her next chapter. Until next time, I'm Bianca Burke. And remember, you are already her. Just step into her.